I want to speak with you today about something most people overlook their entire lives, yet it holds the key to everything they desire: calm. Not indifference, not apathy, but the deliberate mastery of calm. Because in calm lies power, and in power lies success. The person who can remain calm in the face of chaos, who can think clearly when others panic, is the one who will command not just his own destiny, but the respect and cooperation of others. Calm is not the absence of action. It is the focused direction of energy. It is the quiet within you that allows you to see the world clearly, to make choices with wisdom instead of fear, and to stand unmoved when storms rage around you. Now, before we go any further, if you find these ideas valuable, take a moment to like and subscribe so you can come back to them anytime you need to regain your footing, your focus, your calm. Because this isn't a lecture you hear once and forget. This is something you will want to return to reinforce your commitment to your own growth and mastery. I want you to think of this time together as an investment in yourself, an investment that can pay you dividends every single day of your life. Calm is not something you are born with or without. It is something you cultivate like a garden. You cannot expect calm to flourish in your mind if you plant only seeds of fear, anxiety, anger, and doubt. Imagine your mind as fertile soil that will grow whatever you choose to plant in it. Most people plant weeds without realizing it. They feed themselves a steady diet of worry, of complaining, of pessimism. They let the news, gossip, and the negativity of others become the seed they sow in their own thoughts. And then they wonder why they feel stressed, reactive, even defeated. But the one who masters calm is the one who says, "No more, I will choose what I plant. I will plant clarity, confidence, patience, and purpose. I will cultivate calm as a foundation for everything I do." There is a great law at work here, a law as real as gravity. As you sow, so shall you reap. If you sow confusion, you will harvest chaos. If you sow calm, you will harvest control. This is not philosophy for its own sake. This is practical. It is how you gain the upper hand over your own emotions, over your circumstances, and even over the obstacles that life inevitably places in your path. Think of the captain of a ship. He does not control the sea, he cannot change the wind, but he can keep his hand steady on the wheel. He can navigate through the storm because he has learned not to let panic dictate his choices. Ask yourself now, am I the master of my thoughts or their servant? When anger arises, do I let it control my words and actions? When worry enters my mind, do I give it room to stay and grow? The truth is that most people are ruled by their emotions, which means they are ruled by other people, by circumstance, by chance. But you do not have to be. You can be different. You can choose to master calm, and in doing so, master yourself. And when you have mastered yourself, you will have taken the first and most essential step to mastering success. Let me give you something to carry with you, something to write down and reflect upon, something to comment below if you wish to commit it publicly and boldly. I am calm. I am focused. I command my thoughts, and in doing so, I command my future. Repeat it until it is not merely words, but a truth you live. For words have power, they are seeds too. The words you speak to yourself become the beliefs you hold, and the beliefs you hold shape the world you see and the results you get. People often ask, how can calm lead to success? They think calm is passive, that it means doing nothing. But that is the misunderstanding of the masses. Calm is what allows for deliberate action, precise thought, steady leadership. A calm mind can see opportunities where an anxious mind sees only risk. A calm leader can inspire others when everything seems lost. Calm is the environment where solutions grow. Without calm, all energy is wasted in reaction. With calm, all energy can be directed to creation. Consider the alternative. Look at the people around you who are always rushed, always reactive, always complaining about stress. Are they happy? Are they successful on their own terms? Do they have peace of mind, or are they simply caught in an endless cycle of survival, of reacting to the latest crisis? The person who can remain calm is not immune to problems, but he is prepared for them. He does not fear them. He uses them. He grows because of them. That is true strength, and that is what I want for you. Because the truth is this: calm is not just a nice idea, it is essential. Without it, you are at the mercy of your impulses. With it, you are in command. And when you are in command of yourself, you can begin to command the circumstances of your life. So, make a commitment now. Decide that for these next 30 days you will practice calm, that you will observe your thoughts without judgment, and choose the ones that serve you, that you will pause before you react, that you will remind yourself daily, I am calm, I am focused, I command my future, because you can, and if you choose to, you will. Your morning is the foundation, but what is it that you truly build upon that foundation? It is vision. Without vision, even the most disciplined morning routine is hollow. Vision is the clear, unwavering idea of what you want to become, what you want to achieve, and who you want to serve. Most people drift through life because they have no vision. They respond to the day's demands without ever asking whether those demands align with anything they actually want. They let the world decide for them what is important. But the person who holds a clear vision is different. He is immune to distraction, resistant to temptation, and resilient in the face of difficulty because he knows where he is going. His morning is not simply quiet, it is purposeful. He wakes not just to face the day, but to create it. If you want to be among the few who live well and meaningfully, you must begin by asking, what do I want? Not in vague terms, but clearly, specifically. Do you want to build a business? Do you want to raise a family with love and wisdom? Do you want to master your craft, to become an authority, a teacher, a guide? Do you want wealth? And if so, why? What will you do with it? How will you serve with it? Until you have the courage to define your vision, you will forever be at the mercy of others' plans. I challenge you to take this question seriously. Do not brush it aside as something you will think about later, because later never comes. Make time this morning, tomorrow morning, every morning, to sharpen your vision until it is so clear you cannot forget it. It is not enough to think about your vision once and let it fade. It must be your companion. You must carry it with you like a trusted map. Imagine a sea captain leaving port with no destination in mind. He may have the finest ship, the most loyal crew, the best provisions, but he will wander aimlessly. He may survive, but he will never arrive. It is the same with you. Your mind is the ship. Your habits are the crew. Your talents are the wind in your sails. But without vision to guide them, they serve no purpose. The greatest tragedy is not failure, but aimlessness. A person who fails in the pursuit of a worthy goal is still better than one who never dares to choose a goal at all. And understand this, your vision must be yours. It cannot be borrowed from others. You cannot simply adopt the expectations of your family, your friends, or your culture if they do not align with what you know to be true for you. Conformity is the silent killer of dreams. It is the great enemy of vision. It says, be like everyone else. Don't stand out. Don't want too much. Don't dare. But you must dare. You must be willing to say, this is what I want. This is who I will become. This is the life I choose. And yes, this will require courage. It will require that you accept responsibility for your choices. It will require that you risk the possibility of failure. But the alternative is far worse, the certainty of regret. I want you to understand that vision is not fantasy. It is not idle daydreaming. It is the deliberate act of defining your destination so that every action can be aligned toward it. The mind, once given a clear aim, begins to work in remarkable ways. It seeks solutions. It notices opportunities. It discards the irrelevant. It shapes habits that support the goal. This is not magic, it is law. As you think, so you become. As you see yourself, so you act. And as you act, so you create the results of your life. This is why it is so important to revisit your vision every morning, to keep it alive, to keep it sharp, to keep it dominant over all the lesser distractions that clamor for your attention. So I ask you now, will you choose to be among the few who know where they're going? Will you dare to be clear when others are vague? Will you choose purpose over ease? Take a moment now to think about your own vision. Write it down. Speak it aloud. Refine it until it is specific, inspiring, and true. And then commit to it. Tell yourself every morning, I know where I am going. I know who I am becoming. I will not be moved, because this is your life to create. No one else will do it for you. And if you do not choose your vision, someone else will choose it for you, and you will wake one day to find you have lived someone else's dream. Remember this truth and write it below if you want to carve it into your memory. I know where I am going. I choose my destiny. Let it be your daily affirmation. Let it be the words you turn to when fear whispers its doubts, when the world tries to distract you, when circumstances seem to conspire against you. Because if you can hold your vision clearly and stubbornly in your mind each morning, you will bend your days, your habits, your very character to match it. And in time, the world itself will yield to your persistence. This is not hope. It is law. It is how everything great is built. And so I say to you, begin tomorrow morning differently. Don't reach for your phone. Don't check your email. Sit in quiet, even if only for a minute. Close your eyes and see the life you want. Say to yourself, this is where I am going. This is who I am. And then go about your day in alignment with that vision. Do it again the next day, and the next until it is no longer an effort, but your natural state. Because you will have become the kind of person who knows where he is going. The kind of person who cannot be stopped. Most people think of the morning as nothing more than the start of another day, but those who understand its power see it as something entirely different, the moment to set intention. Intention is the silent force that shapes action. Without it, even the busiest day is wasted motion, like a wheel spinning in mud. Intention is the architect's blueprint, the captain's chart, the writer's outline. It tells your mind and your actions what matters most. But here is the tragedy. Most people never set intentions. They roll out of bed and react. They let the world tell them what to care about. They answer every demand, every distraction, every urgency. But they never ask, is this moving me toward what I want? If you want to live a life that is deliberate and successful, you must begin by setting your intentions every morning. It does not have to be complicated. It does not require grand speeches or elaborate rituals. It is the quiet moment when you ask yourself, what do I choose to focus on today? What will I accomplish? Who will I be? Will I meet challenges with patience or anger? Will I bring my best self to my work, my family, my community? The difference between those who live well and those who drift is not intelligence or luck. It is the habit of setting intention, because intention is choice, and choice is freedom. Consider how easily a day can slip away without intention. You wake up, you check your messages, you let someone else's priorities become yours. You rush to meet obligations, distracted by noise and urgency. You say yes when you should say no. You do what is easy instead of what is important. And at the end of the day, you wonder why you feel empty, why you feel behind, why you feel like life is controlling you. The truth is, you never took control in the first place. You never claimed the day as yours. The world loves to use those who do not choose to use themselves. I want to encourage you to begin each day with a deliberate moment of quiet, a pause. Even 1 minute can change everything. Before the world demands your attention, demand it of yourself. Say, today I will be patient. Today I will focus on my work. Today I will practice gratitude. Today I will take 1 step toward my goal. It is not enough to hope these things will happen. You must choose them. This is the essence of mastery, choosing your responses instead of reacting blindly. When you choose your intentions, you prepare your mind to see opportunities. You train your emotions to remain steady. You align your actions with your purpose. You may ask, why is this so important? Because life is not determined by what happens to you, but by how you respond. And how you respond is shaped by what you intend. The person who intends to be calm can remain so even in provocation. The person who intends to be disciplined can resist temptation. The person who intends to be kind can soften anger. But the person who intends nothing will be ruled by anything: fear, anger, distraction, desire. Intention is the gate you build around your mind to protect it from the chaos of the world. It is the compass that keeps you on course when storms arise. Let me offer you this. Write down your daily intention on a card. Keep it simple. Keep it clear. Each morning, read it aloud. Carry it with you if you must. When you feel yourself pulled off course, read it again. This small act can change the entire direction of your day. And over weeks and months, it will change the entire direction of your life. Because repetition forms habit, and habit forms character, and character shapes destiny. Do not leave this to chance. Make it deliberate. This is your responsibility to yourself and to those you love. There is a law at work here, and you would do well to remember it. What you focus on expands. If you focus on problems, they grow. If you focus on solutions, they multiply. If you focus on gratitude, you find more to be grateful for. If you focus on anger, you find endless reasons to be angry. Intention is focus. It is the act of deciding where to place the lens of your attention. It is choosing what to water in the garden of your mind. Will you water weeds or flowers? This is not a trivial question. It is the question that determines everything. So I ask you now to write this in the comments, as a commitment to yourself and a message to others. I choose my intention. I choose my response. Make it more than words. Make it a promise. A promise that tomorrow morning you will not wake up and let the world set your agenda. You will not let fear or anger or distraction rule you. You will pause. You will choose. You will act with purpose. This is the mark of the few, the masters, the ones who do not simply live but create lives of meaning. And I leave you with this invitation. Tomorrow morning when you wake, do not reach for your phone. Do not rush. Sit quietly. Ask yourself, who do I choose to be today? What will I focus on? What will I create? Answer honestly, then carry that intention with you into every conversation, every decision, every obstacle, because the day is yours to command, and a life is nothing more than many days well commanded. There is something else you must understand about your morning if you are to shape your destiny with intention and mastery: the role of gratitude. Gratitude is not mere politeness or empty ritual. It is one of the most powerful forces you can cultivate, and it must begin the moment you open your eyes. Why? Because gratitude changes your perception. It transforms your mind from a state of lack to a state of abundance. It prepares you to see opportunities instead of obstacles. It teaches you to recognize the gifts in your life, even the ones wrapped in challenge. Gratitude is the foundation for all true success, because success is not merely the accumulation of wealth or achievements, but the ability to appreciate them deeply. Without gratitude, the richest person is poor. With gratitude, even modest means can be a source of joy and peace. Most people begin their day in complaint. They think about the problems ahead, the difficulties they must face, the people who annoy them, the tasks they would rather avoid. They rehearse their grievances before they have even left their bed. And then they wonder why the world seems so heavy, so antagonistic, so full of resistance. The answer is simple. They chose it. They set their minds to look for problems, and so problems filled their vision. This is not a mystery. It is law. The mind finds what it is told to seek. It delivers what you instruct it to focus upon. And when you begin with complaint, you have told it to search out reasons for bitterness all day long. Gratitude is the antidote to this poison. It is the deliberate choice to begin the day with awareness of the good that is already present. Even if life is difficult, and for many it is still possible to find something to appreciate. The breath in your lungs, the roof over your head, the people who care for you, the chance to try again. When you choose gratitude, you choose power, because you claim responsibility for your state of mind. You refuse to be a victim of circumstances. You refuse to let the world dictate your attitude. You stand as the master of your perspective. And understand this: gratitude is not passive. It is not simply feeling good for a moment and then forgetting. It is the foundation for decisive, positive action. A grateful mind is creative. It seeks to expand the good it recognizes. It asks, how can I serve? How can I build upon this gift? How can I share what I have received? This is why gratitude and generosity are inseparable. The person who is truly grateful will naturally seek to give, to serve, to create value. And in doing so, he aligns himself with the great law that rewards service with abundance. I want to challenge you to make gratitude a part of your morning ritual. Before you rise, list 3 things you are grateful for. Speak them aloud, feel them. Let them shape the first thoughts of your day. If you feel resistance, if your mind says there is nothing to be grateful for, push back. Dig deeper. Gratitude is a skill, and like any skill, it strengthens with use. In time, you will find it easier, more natural. Eventually, it will become your default state. And in that state, you will find that your entire experience of life changes. Problems shrink. Opportunities multiply. Relationships deepen. Stress fades, because you have trained your mind to see the world through the lens of abundance. There is another benefit to gratitude that cannot be overstated. It breaks the grip of fear. Fear thrives on imagined loss, on the anticipation of suffering. But gratitude roots you in the present, in what is real, in what is already good. You cannot feel fear and gratitude at the same time. When you are grateful, you are fearless, you are calm, you are clear, and from that place, you can make better decisions. You can lead, you can create. Gratitude is not weakness, it is strength. It is the bedrock of resilience. So let me ask you now to make a commitment. Write this in the comments as your declaration to yourself and to those who will read it after you. I choose gratitude. I see the good. I am open to abundance. Let it be your reminder each morning when you wake. Say it aloud, feel it, let it shape your mind before the world has a chance to shape it for you. This is not a one-time act, but a daily practice. It is a habit that will change the very structure of your mind, and as a result, the shape of your life. Tomorrow morning, when you open your eyes, do not immediately think of what you lack or what you fear. Think of what you have. Think of who you love. Think of what is possible. And let that gratitude guide your first words, your first actions, your first decisions. Because the person who begins with gratitude ends with success, not always in the way the world defines it, but in the way that matters most, a life well lived, deeply felt, richly experienced. There is another principle you must understand if you are to command your morning, and through it, your destiny. Discipline. Discipline is the bridge between intention and achievement. Without it, the finest goals remain fantasies. Without it, vision is nothing more than a pleasant daydream. Discipline is the daily choice to do what must be done, even when you do not feel like doing it. It is the quiet courage to say yes to what matters, and no to what distracts. It is the recognition that ease and comfort are temptations that promise much but deliver little. Discipline is not punishment. It is freedom. It is the ability to command yourself so that no one else can. Most people recoil at the word discipline because they associate it with hardship or restriction. But think of the great artist, the master craftsman, the accomplished athlete. Their freedom of expression, their ease of movement, their excellence was born of discipline. The pianist is free to create music because he first disciplined himself to learn the scales. The writer is free to tell stories because she disciplined herself to study words. The leader can make decisive choices because he disciplined himself to think clearly. Discipline is the foundation upon which all mastery is built. Without it, talent is wasted. Potential is squandered. Desire remains unfulfilled. In the morning, discipline begins in small things. Rising when you say you will rise. Beginning your work when you said you would. Refusing to be distracted by trivialities. Choosing the harder right over the easier wrong. These are not grand acts, but they are powerful, because they teach your mind and body to obey your higher purpose rather than your lower impulses. They create integrity within you, a consistency between what you say and what you do, and this integrity becomes confidence. Confidence is not arrogance. It is the quiet certainty that you can rely on yourself, that you will do what you say, that you will meet the day as its master, not its victim. Consider this. Each time you choose discipline, you strengthen your will. You teach yourself that you are in command. And each time you choose laziness or distraction, you weaken that will. You teach yourself that your impulses rule you. This is not a matter of morality, but of cause and effect. The disciplined person does not have an easier life, but he has a better one, because he knows that satisfaction lies on the other side of effort, that true rest is earned, not stolen. That pride comes not from avoiding work, but from completing it well. This is why discipline must be part of your morning. It sets the tone. It reminds you that today, like every day, you will choose who you are. Let me offer you a simple practice. Each morning, identify one thing you will do that requires discipline. It may be rising at a certain time. It may be beginning your work without delay. It may be finishing a task you have avoided. Write it down. Commit to it. And then do it. Not because you feel like it, but because you said you would. This small act is transformative because it shifts your identity. You are no longer someone who tries or wishes. You are someone who does. And over time, these small acts of discipline compound into remarkable achievements. They become the foundation of a life you respect and are proud to live. There is a law that governs this, and you must remember it well. You do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. Discipline is your system. It is the reliable structure that carries you when motivation fails. Because motivation is fleeting, it is fickle. But discipline is steady. It is what you fall back on when you are tired, when you are discouraged, when the world seems to conspire against you. It is your promise to yourself, honored daily even in difficulty, especially in difficulty, because difficulty is not your enemy. It is your teacher, your sculptor, the fire that tempers you into someone stronger than you were yesterday. So I challenge you now, do not seek an easy morning. Seek a deliberate one, a disciplined one. When you feel the urge to delay, act. When you feel the temptation to complain, be grateful. When you want to quit, continue. Because these small victories over self are the true measure of success. They are what separate the person who drifts from the person who leads, the person who reacts from the person who creates, the person who wishes from the person who achieves. Discipline is the difference. I invite you now to write this in the comments as your commitment, your declaration: I choose discipline. I honor my promises to myself. Let these words guide you tomorrow morning when you rise. Let them shape your choices when you are tempted to stray. Let them remind you that you are not a prisoner of your moods or impulses. You are the master of them. And in mastering them, you master your destiny. Because in the end, it is not what you say you want that determines your life. It is what you are willing to do. There is another great truth you must understand if you are to command your morning and, by extension, your destiny: the power of reflection. Reflection is not idle daydreaming. It is deliberate thinking. It is the quiet, structured examination of your life, your choices, your values, and your results. Most people rush headlong into each day without a moment's pause. They repeat the same mistakes, react to the same triggers, complain about the same problems, because they never stop to think. Reflection is the act of stepping outside the whirlwind of daily life to ask the questions that matter. Am I living in alignment with my goals? Am I becoming the person I want to be? What did I learn yesterday? What will I do better today? Your morning is the ideal time for this practice because it is when the mind is quietest, freshest, and most receptive. Before the world places its demands upon you, you have the chance to check your compass. Just as a sailor consults his chart before setting sail, you must consult your own map before you launch into action. Without this moment of reflection, you risk spending your day climbing a ladder leaning against the wrong wall. You may work hard, even heroically, but toward ends that do not serve you, that do not fulfill you, that do not align with your highest values. Reflection is not a luxury, it is a necessity. Consider how few people do this. Most people wake up and immediately seek distraction. They reach for their phones, their emails, the news. They feed their minds with the thoughts and agendas of others before they have given a single command to their own. They begin in reaction, and so they continue in reaction. They live by accident. But those who build great lives do so on purpose. They guard their mornings as sacred time to think. They know that the mind, once directed, will seek answers. It will find solutions. It will illuminate paths that were previously hidden. But you must give it the question. You must give it the time. Reflection is how you course correct. It is how you ensure that you are not simply busy, but effective. That you are not just moving, but moving in the right direction. In your morning reflection, ask yourself, what did I do yesterday that served my goals? What did I do that distracted me? Where did I act with integrity? Where did I compromise? How did I treat others? How did I treat myself? These questions are not meant to shame you, but to illuminate you. Because awareness is the first step toward change. You cannot improve what you refuse to examine. This practice of reflection is not complicated, but it is powerful. Set aside even 5 minutes each morning. Sit in silence. Ask yourself these questions. Answer honestly. Make a single small commitment for improvement. Write it down. Carry it with you. Let it shape your decisions for the day. Over time, these small daily reflections compound into profound self-knowledge. They build wisdom. They allow you to see patterns that would otherwise remain hidden. They empower you to make better choices, and better choices made consistently create better results. This is not theory. It is cause and effect. It is law. I want you to remember this. Unexamined days lead to an unexamined life, and an unexamined life is a life lived in the dark. But when you commit to reflection, you turn on the light. You see yourself clearly. You see your path clearly. You see your challenges and opportunities clearly. This clarity gives you power, the power to change, the power to improve, the power to grow. And with growth comes fulfillment, comes peace, comes true success. So I encourage you now to make this your commitment. Write it in the comments if you choose to make it public, to make it real. I choose reflection. I examine my life. I learn and I grow. Let these words be your promise to yourself. Because tomorrow morning when you wake, you will have a choice, to rush or to pause, to react or to reflect, to remain as you are or to grow into what you can be. Choose wisely, because the truth is simple. The person who refuses to think is a slave to circumstance. But the person who chooses to think becomes the architect of his own life. There is yet another principle I want you to carry with you each morning. Service. Service is the forgotten law of success, the hidden foundation beneath all lasting achievement, the quiet force that multiplies reward. Most people think only of what they can get. They ask, what can I earn? What can I win? What can I claim for myself? But the wise person begins each day by asking, what can I give? How can I serve? Because he understands that his rewards will always, without exception, be in direct proportion to his service. This is not an opinion. It is not a moral recommendation. It is a natural law as real and as binding as gravity. As you sow, so shall you reap. But this principle is not limited to business. It applies to every aspect of life. The spouse who serves selflessly builds a strong marriage. The parent who serves with love raises children who feel safe and confident. The leader who serves his team creates loyalty and excellence. The friend who listens and supports builds bonds that last a lifetime. Service is not weakness. It is the ultimate strength, because it requires that you look beyond yourself, that you exercise empathy, that you choose contribution over selfishness, and in doing so you create a network of goodwill that will return to you in ways you cannot predict but can absolutely trust. When you begin your morning with thoughts of service, you immediately set yourself apart. You align yourself with the very source of abundance, because the world does not reward greed. It rewards value. It rewards usefulness. It rewards the person who makes life better for others. This is why the greatest businesses succeed. They solve problems. They meet needs. They serve people better than anyone else. And those who lead them understand this law intimately. They wake up thinking, how can I deliver more? How can I make this experience better? How can I create something so valuable that others will willingly exchange their resources for it? There is another truth here. You must accept. No one can avoid this law. You can try to cheat it, to take without giving, to manipulate, to deceive, and you may succeed for a time. But in the end, the law will balance the scales. Those who enrich themselves at the expense of others will pay a price, if not in money, then in peace of mind, in reputation, in opportunity lost. The prisons are full of those who tried to create their own exceptions. But for the honest person, the person committed to real lasting success, there is no better strategy than consistent, genuine service. Your morning is the perfect time to set this intention. Before you speak to anyone, ask yourself, how can I be of service today? How can I make someone's day easier? How can I bring light instead of shadow? How can I leave every interaction better than I found it? This does not mean you neglect yourself. It means you see yourself as part of a larger system, and you recognize that by improving that system, you inevitably improve your own position within it. You lift yourself by lifting others. Yet many resist this idea. They think, if I focus on serving others, what about me? Who will take care of my needs? But they misunderstand the law. They think service is sacrifice, loss, deprivation. In truth, service is the most reliable path to personal abundance, because when you make yourself valuable to others, they will seek you out. They will want to work with you. They will reward you. They will recommend you. Your reputation will precede you. Your opportunities will multiply. This is why I say, service is the seed of prosperity. Plant it daily. As we come to this final part of our journey together, I want you to understand something essential, something that ties all these principles together and gives them life. You must act. Without action, every idea we have explored remains nothing but potential. Without action, calm is just an intention. Purpose is just a wish. Service is just a dream. Action is the bridge between thought and reality. It is the price that must be paid for every reward you seek. No one else can do it for you. No one else can walk your path. And that is exactly as it should be, because action is what transforms you from a passive observer of life to an active creator of it. There is a law that governs all achievement, and it is this: for every effect there is a cause. Your actions are the causes. Your results are the effects. If you want different results, you must choose different actions. You cannot keep thinking the same way, speaking the same way, behaving the same way, and expect a different life to appear. Change begins when you do. This is why people who study these principles but fail to apply them see no transformation. They believe knowing is enough. But knowing is only the seed. It must be planted, nurtured, and acted upon to bear fruit. Think about the difference between those who dream and those who achieve. The dreamer lives in imagination alone. The achiever brings that imagination into the world through deliberate, persistent action. The dreamer waits for conditions to be perfect. The achiever acts with what they have, knowing conditions rarely become perfect on their own. The dreamer fears failure, and so does nothing. The achiever understands failure as feedback, a necessary part of learning, and so moves forward anyway. The dreamer wishes, the achiever works, and it is in the work, in the repeated action, that success takes root. This is why every principle I have shared with you must become a daily practice. Calm is not something you achieve once and keep forever. It is something you choose, moment by moment. Purpose is not something you write once and forget. It is something you renew every morning. Service is not a single grand gesture. It is the sum of countless small choices to help, to listen, to care. Preparation is not a single study session. It is a lifelong commitment to readiness. Listening is not just silence while others speak. It is active engagement and patience. Speaking deliberately is not about rehearsed words alone, but about genuine, thoughtful communication. But none of these principles will serve you if they remain locked in your mind. They must be lived. They must be embodied in your habits. And that begins with a single decision: I will act. Not tomorrow, not next week, today, now. Because your life is happening now, your opportunities are now, your relationships are now. The time to plant seeds is now. The time to speak with calm, to listen with care, to serve with excellence is now. The person you want to become is built one choice at a time. So as we close this series, I ask you to make one final commitment. Comment these words below so that you will see them and remember them. I, ACT now. I live my principles. I create my future. Let this be your promise to yourself. Say it aloud. Write it where you will see it every day. Because this promise is the key that unlocks everything else. Without action, there is no change. Without change, there is no growth. Without growth, there is no success. I want you to imagine for a moment the life you truly want, the calm you want to feel in any situation, the respect you want to command effortlessly, the purpose that lights up your mornings, the service that gives your work meaning, the relationships built on trust and understanding, the legacy of value you leave behind. It is all possible. It is waiting for you, but it will not come uninvited. You must choose it. You must act. You must pay the price through daily discipline, through courage, through persistence. And you will find that the price is small compared to the reward. So as you finish this final part, remember this truth above all. You are the architect of your own life. You hold the tools, you know the laws, you see the path. Now it is time to walk it. Begin today. Begin now. Act as if calm commands respect, because it does. Act as if service builds abundance, because it will. Act as if you are capable of creating the life you desire, because you are. And as you do, you will discover that you are not merely living, you are leading, you are creating, you are fulfilling the purpose for which you were born.